There will be a recording made available to those people who have registered, and the recording will be available on the website in the next week or so, probably split up into a couple of smaller segments just to make it easier for people to view. So today's webinar is structured around a little bit of background about me, who I am, where I came into this certified change agent, and how I actually came up with the idea. We'll spend a few minutes then talking about how I created the Certified Change Agent program, where the idea came from, what I saw was the need in the workspace to actually deliver this program. And then we'll go into the real core content that most people are interested in, which is talking about what the program involves, what the learning events are, and the requirements actually to become a CCA. Then I'll talk a little bit about where we are at the moment with the CCA and finish off by discussing how we will be developing things going forward to enhance the CCA program and the opportunities for individuals. So you can see me on the left hand side there, little picture of me. I've had over 20 years experience working in the change field. I've mainly worked in UK government. One of the key things I did about 8 or 9 years ago now was the creation of the change management model across UK government. Started off within the particular ministry I was working in, and then developed that going forward into an actual model for delivery of change management services. Part of this involved the creation of a network of change agents across the ministry, departments, etc., within the government, where I used the fact that people who were closest to the work were the best place to understand how the work would be changing and how people would be impacted by the changes. So I actually focused on them actually being brought in to actually help with change management delivery across UK government. Of course, part of this was really around the fact that many people, as I'm sure you will experience, are having change thrown at them many times in their day-to-day work. New technology is coming in, new software systems, maybe they're relocating within the organization, maybe there's a management restructure. Very many changes come and hit people many times over. And they actually don't know how to deal with this, or they kind of look at it and just get a bit swamped by it. So I actually went forward with this change agent idea because this would actually help the people at the coalface to actually understand how to deal with change in the best way, as well as, of course, creating that network of contacts to actually feed back into the organization and support the changes, delivering against the vision, mission, or actual strategic goals of the organization, whatever the changes were that were required for that. Um, I guess this is where the spark started with me for the idea of the CCA program, because of the need for individuals who are not full-time change managers to be involved in change successfully, because we look to those people to actually help deliver change or create engagement and positive attitudes towards a change event. But we never really seem to give them any formal training or education support to actually deliver that change. So this is where I actually saw the opportunity or the need, or whichever word you went through, and I think probably opportunity and need are cohabiting statements within the change community, um, for people who are either part-time or no time in some cases, given responsibility for change and change delivery within departments, teams, organisations, and don't get given the actual skill set to be able to help them understand what that change is and how things will progress. So over the last year, I've been developing, through 2014, I've been developing a whole range of um, sort of activities and ideas. And part of the result of this was the Developing Change Agents 2-day workshop. So I'm a strong believer in sharing my knowledge and experience with people within the change community and outside the change community. I'm fortunate to be involved in this field for over 20 years now and built up a lot of experience and understanding of how people react and what happens with the change events for people. But I suppose for me, it was a need to kind of link together this change agent network that I was talking about, the people involved in that network, which are the change agents, and also then to link that change agent network towards something that would give people the skills and equipment with the knowledge and the mindset, I think, to actually support uh, change management or management of change. And I'll talk a little bit about that later on because there is a difference that I strongly believe in between those 2 points. So I created a 2-day workshop called Developing Change Agents last year, and through 2014, I tested it with a number of individuals and had a lot of feedback about, some structural style things that needed to be modified, as anybody would expect with any trialing of a learning event. But the overwhelming ask I had from people who did attend it was to get a formal certification qualification that recognized that they had actually gained skills, knowledge, and competence through a 2-day event and was transferable and recognized by official professional bodies. And of course, from a recruitment point of view, those recruiters and hiring managers would recognize that individuals had been awarded a certification that demonstrated their capability within the field of dealing with change. So in 2015, the certification was born. What is the certification? So this is the certification program. I'm very keen to say that if I'm going to put my name to a certification or formal qualification, I want to make sure that it's a robust qualification that is recognizable by individuals as showing that people have actually achieved a level of competence and capability within a field. I didn't want it to be some sort of pop quiz event that people actually um, did quickly, and it really didn't have substance or weight because I wanted people to be able to respect this and have a reflective admiration, I suppose, for those individuals that had gone through the program. And the program is not a quick program, it's not short. Yes, there's some flexibility. So there's the Developing Change Agents workshop that I just talked about, was one of the core elements of the Certified Change Agent program. Attending this workshop over 2 days, followed by a third day, which is about a half day, which includes sitting the actual knowledge-based examination. And that examination, even though it is a multiple choice question style, does actually challenge you to demonstrate what you remembered of the Developing Change Agents workshop in the previous 2 days. The actual third day event includes a period of reflection and review, change based coaching, and actually completion of the examination in 75 minutes, where 50 questions must be answered and a pass mark of 70% is required in that examination. Following passing that examination, there is a requirement for individuals to submit a written case study demonstrating application of the knowledge they've gained through the certification program. Within 3 months of actually getting a pass in the knowledge examination, they must submit to my certification board a written paper of 3,000 words, give or take, and that actually will provide them with how can I put this now? So that will provide them with application, hands-on use, I suppose. This is the best way of describing it, of the actual knowledge they've gained through the workshop. I wanted to actually show that people didn't just know about what they'd learned and couldn't just repeat it, but could actually apply the knowledge. So I built this piece into the certification program to have that demonstrated that they'd applied it in the real world situation. What I also took forward was the need to have these examination written case studies reviewed independently for myself. So I created a certification advisory board that I just mentioned, made up of 5 individuals from across the world who have a lot of experience in change management and understand the syllabus content for the workshop that the person will have actually been attending beforehand. And then they can use that to actually see if the person, through the way they have written their case study, actually demonstrates that they have applied the knowledge successfully within a change situation that they faced. That change situation could be professional or personal. People that are currently going through this have got a mix of personal and professional situations, from a more traditional technology delivery within an organization through to individuals starting themselves up in business, other individuals that have learned how to actually progress and develop themselves within a change environment in their team, and how their role has changed from what it previously was to a new role. So, it's a variety of different types of content that people can put into the written examination piece, the written case study piece that comes after the examination. So the submitted written case then must be submitted within 3 months of passing the examination. It can be done earlier, or it can be done right up to that last day of 3 months. And when somebody has been approved by 2 of the certification advisory board members as showing that they have demonstrated knowledge through the application, then they will be given a pass on that piece of work and be given the Certified Change Agent accreditation. So it's a robust, detailed activity to actually get to CCA, um, but it's quite doable, quite achievable by most people. So you're probably wondering what's actually involved in the content of the workshop. So on day one, we focus on individual change and how people react towards individual change. And I'll go through the broad outline of the syllabus shortly for this. Whereas day two looks at the sort of organizational and wider change effects, the sort of strategic type elements, and how teams, structures, departments are affected by change. The workshop is not a classroom-based workshop. It has a lot of facilitated discussion and involvement of individuals attending. I ask you to explore your past change experiences and how you've reflected upon those and what happened with them, how successful they were. And then we will also look at a number of theories and models for change in terms of how, change management and change happens, the interaction between a variety of things. And it will also, on the day two, involve a graphic recording piece. So I'll show you what graphic recording is shortly now, because for some people they're not so aware of what that involves. So this is graphic recording, and these are pictures from one of our first Certified Change Agent events in the wonderful Ontario Heritage Centre here in Toronto. Fantastic space for learning with great opportunities. But you can see from the picture here that it's a visual capture of the information that is shared within the classroom, and people can actually see things in a visual way. I have a very good partnership with a company that actually does the visual recording, this graphic recording method. I always reflect on the fact that Charlotte, who comes in to do this on day 2 with us, says that her skill is not in drawing, but her skill is in memory, because she needs to be able to remember what everybody's saying and what's being talked about and capture it on a page for people to reflect on afterwards. So this is graphic recording for your information, and I I can't say how much people are positive about this opportunity to have this present within the actual workshop, because it just helps those people that are memory is based on pictures, and I think there's a saying about 1,000 words can be replaced by a picture. So this is definitely one of those opportunities. We also encourage the attendees to come and make their own mark on here, so that allows them to review this, and if there's something else they think that should be captured on this picture, they can put it on there and say what they think, or highlight something that they felt was really important, so that they use it as a learning tool going forward. So enough about graphic recording. Let's talk about the actual content of the Developing Change Agents workshop. So there are 6 areas of focus over the 2 days for the normal actual workshop structure. They are set up into the following 6 items that you can see on screen here. The challenge of change, the change event, what is a change agent, how is change managed, change leadership, and time for you to change. As you can see, every topic area has change in the title. And then day 3, we actually have a piece about the free discussion, as I mentioned before, and sitting examination. So I'm just going to go back and just give you a little bit of overview on each of these areas. The 6 areas of focus: challenge of change talks towards how individuals react to change, talks a little bit about human emotions and some basic change models about how people react and deal with change. The change event talks about what causes change, and we talk in some detail about how people can develop resilience and how we can reflect upon resistance. What is a change agent, again, talks about how many different roles can take on the change agent roles, whether it be full-time, part-time, or no time, as I said earlier on. Then we start day 2 with how is change managed. We talk about the difference between change management and managing change, the relationship with project management and technology management, and we talk about a number of different change management models and methodologies in this section. Then we actually progress on to change leadership and discuss what it means to be a leader of change, the roles and expectations of leadership and how that's differentiated from management. And we also look at the link between things like change leadership and innovation, because there's a strong correlation between innovation as a catalyst for change and innovators being leaders of change. And then we finish off with an opportunity for you to develop your own working plan to go forward. So, that's very much the structure of the six modules that we have over the 2 days. All attendees will have a workshop pack, copies of all slides with note spaces for them to capture notes as we talk through things, as it will be a free-flowing discussion as we go through the whole content of the workshop. There will be continued access to digital records of the event, templates, documents, and anything else that's shared, some publications that I share with individuals, and snapshots of particular modules, etc. And then there'll be opportunity to connect with people who are going through the same experience through a dedicated LinkedIn group. Individuals have been finding this useful also for sharing knowledge and building working relationships as they progress towards doing the written part of the process. Only 12 attendees are accepted onto each workshop. I want it to be a focused workshop, and I do not want it to be a classroom-based style. So I do focus on having just 12 attendees for the workshop. The written submission I've talked about in some detail already, but this is a slide that gives you information in full detail about what happens when you actually do the written submissions, 3,000 words plus or minus 10%. Two members of the Certification Advisory Board will review this independently, not together, and then compare notes to actually determine if they're happy that the person has passed the written submission piece. Once an individual is given the CCA accreditation, they will also have the opportunity to have their name published on the capillary website as part of the honour roll for each year's graduates of the CCA programme. So where are we now with CCA? So we've actually got certification recognised by the Human Resources Professional Association of Ontario, a legislative professional body within the province of Ontario with over 25,000 members. Ontario, for those of you that may not be aware, is the largest province by population in Canada, with almost a third of the population of the country in the one province. And this is the legal entity for recognising human resource professionals. By mid-September, and actually it was yesterday that I had confirmation through that the Society of HR Managers, which is the largest association of human resource management in the world, based out of the US, has now recognised us as a accredited deliverer for certification-based training, education, and learning activities. So we will actually be able to award 14 professional development credits for the Society of Human Resources for anybody renewing or recertifying their accreditation with the association. And then, of course, the Association of Change Management Professionals, we should be getting accreditation with them in the coming weeks. And they are the foremost association for change management and advancing the discipline of change management. So they really live and breathe that. And it's something where I have a strong allegiance. Currently, we're only conducting workshops in the Greater Toronto area. However, we do have some plans in place to take the workshop to new locations. We've also just agreed to launch a weekly class program on Wednesday evenings in the GTA, and we're also looking at doing a weekend opportunity where somebody could actually attend the workshops and get the CCA accreditation over 4 Saturday, just over a half day. It'll be like 5 hours each Saturday for 4 Saturdays. Once we get the ACMP Qualified Education Provider accreditation, this will enable the attendance at the workshop to qualify for 14 hours of CCMP program requirement. Now, the CCMP is the Certified Change Management Professional program that the association is currently developing, ready to launch, probably in the first quarter of 2016. And there will be a requirement to have 21 hours of recognised QEP learning or training components to achieve the CCMP accreditation. So this would count as 14 hours of that, and that takes me on to some of the future developments that Capillary is looking at, to develop half and 1 day additional change related learning events, so that this would supplement and give those additional hours for individuals while allowing them to have a focus on particular areas that they are more interested in developing within the change field. So we're looking at half-day workshops in changing technology, process design, and interestingly, something about mindfulness and physical well-being, which talks to that resilience element of experiencing change. And then early in 2016, we'll have a couple of one-day events coming out on sustainability's relationship with change, and of course an expansion on that innovation and change potential, to discuss how innovation can lead to change as a catalyst for it. Some future locations that we are looking at delivering this worldwide. Dubai in the United Arab Emirates is going to be run from January 31st to February the 2nd, 2016, just prior to their big ACMP Middle East North Africa region change management conference that will be run in Dubai from February the 3rd to the 4th. This will be a complimentary and I don't mean free by that, I mean complementary in terms of aligning with their focus. And there may well be some opportunities for one of those half-day workshops I mentioned on the previous page to be aligned with this. Then I'm looking at doing something in sort of late spring, early summer 2016 in London, England. I've had quite a few asks to take it back to the UK. And then Berlin, Germany may be aligned with the Berlin Change Days program. I'm looking at doing this as a potential event associated with that, but I've still got that in discussion at the moment. If you're interested in registering for the program, there are still spaces in September, October, and December. Although I will say, when I looked last, there were only, I think, 3 spaces left in the September workshop at the moment. Um, and I think about half a dozen on each of the October, December workshops. Standard cost is 1,295 Canadian dollars plus taxes for these Toronto-based events. We'll probably have to modify the change for other locations based on local currency and services, but that's the basic baseline cost for attending this. And of course, we offer early birds, group discounts, etc. So that's it. Thank you for listening to the webinar. I hope you found it informative and useful to learn about the webinar and the way we do our Certified Change Agent program with Capillary. Here's my details. By all means, reach out to me at any time. My email address is rich@capillaryconsulting.com, or you can telephone me with the number 416-995-9717. Find me on Twitter. I'm quite an avid Twitter user. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And of course, check out the website details at the Capillary Learning website, www.capillarylearning.com. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you may be. And I thank you for your time.